Good evening, folks. It's your boy Iceberg Breaks, and I'm back with another guest of On the Icebox with Iceberg. Tonight is DMV owns LegoMan34, and he hails from the WAMALTC group. And so we're gonna get to know him. We're gonna get to know where he came from, and we're gonna get to look at those delicious mocks that he has. And so, without further ado, hey Richard, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on.
Good. Everyone can see he has quite the room behind him. Quite the room, quite the massive collection, quite the collector. So tell us, man, how'd you even get started with Lego?
Well, when I was a young man, I used to go visit my grandmother, and her sons, my uncles, lived with her in Queens.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them had a Lego collection starting in the 60s, late 60s, Samsonite era bricks. And he would go down to FAO Schwartz down in downtown New York and get his fix. And
Right.
then when I moved to Ohio, had some friends down the road. They had some Lego brick, and I was like, "Yeah, I need some of this." And my mom's wouldn't buy me none. It's expensive,
Right.
So took a little bit of time. About 12 years old, I started, doing the paper route and the leaves and the shoveling the snow and mowing the grass, and got some extra cash. Knew where to go find some Lego downtown. I'd make the bus trip downtown to the department store and get me some Lego.
Right.
So it wasn't until I was an adult before someone else ever bought me a Lego set.
Okay. A dedicated man for Lego, man. That's awesome, man. And look at you now. Like I said, you got all the Lego your heart can contain now.
Within reason, I think.
So
Somebody's got to sort it.
Yeah, right. Somebody's got to sort it. Somebody's got to get their hands deep in it, man. Why not you?
Exactly.
So so you pick up Lego as a youth, and of course you get into your teenage years and your young adult years. You served in the military. Tell us about your experience.
So I've never had a dark age. The only time I actually had to give up Lego was when I did basic training.
Okay.
And when I went to tech school, I went back home on Christmas break and got my Lego and brought it with me. Of course, by then I'd already been to the stores and started buying stuff already, so I had more Lego at home at the dorm, and just brought my whole collection with me. Of course, at the time I could fit it in a duffel bag.
Okay. Yeah, I got a friend that tried to take his Lego in the duffel bag. Didn't work out too well for him.
Got it all in. That was the only thing in that duffel bag. It was full.
Right. Yeah.
Even at that time. So I did 20 years in the military, went all kinds of places, Greece, Germany, England, several places around the States. I ended up, my last assignment being in Maryland at Andrews, and pretty much just stayed in the area. Of course, by the time I was ready to retire, close to that, the internet was starting to come online. Could do dial-ups and Rec LTC, the Rec Lego toys, and then Yahoo groups. I started connecting with the locals. We got one of the first stores for the Lego stores here, and it was like, a few miles over. I'm going to go see it. So we started congealing around having the Lego store experience with the rest of the people here in the area. And we formed a local group. It was WAMALTC. And then when we started doing events like Greenberg and Great American Train Shows, they wanted to split off, do a little WAMALTC. So we kind of have two groups, two sister groups. And I'm active in both of them.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. So what are your tell us what are your next Lego aspiration? What's next? What's your big next project that you want to start?
I think once I get my stuff sorted, my big next is converting some of the newer creator buildings into stuff that pleases me, because although Lego is definitely getting better, I mean, look at the diner and look at the Fisherman Village house.
Okay.
The bait shop.
Right.
Although those are getting much better as far as you could take a minifig and get them to walk around in there, like inhabit the building, they're still not quite there. So I've got a the pool shop and the barber shop that I'm going to convert into 2 different buildings.
Okay.
And add those as extra buildings for layouts. I've got the assembly square that I let her build that, and because my wife's a builder too.
Okay.
She got to do it through me. I've got to convert that into 3 different buildings that work in my style.
Okay.
Well, so those are the next things, and a Ghostbusters firehouse that needs to be about this much wider and about that much deeper, because you can't get car in there. You can't get the Ghostbusters in there. So you have to monkey with the dimensions.
Right. Right.
And I call that selective compression. You have to do it. You have to selectively compress it in different ways to get the desired, not only the desired look that you want for the piece to have, but also to do all the things that you need it to do.
Yeah. Okay. 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 So you have a upcoming Star Wars display coming up. Tell us about that.
So the Marine Corps Museum, which we've been affiliated with for a few years, it's in Quantico, Virginia, just outside of base. And they asked us to come down for Family Days. And we've done these shows for a few years, and they want us to come down for, it's Cinco de Mayo technically, but it's really a May the 4th kind of celebration, and a May the 4th Star Wars thing. And they want us to bring some Star Wars stuff.
Okay.
So we're hoping to have a few of our club members come down with some Star Wars stuff, and they don't care if it's stuff from Lego set built or MOX or whatever. I've got a original UCS Millennium Falcon that I'm gonna get together before then, before May, and we're gonna
tell
have
us,
all kinds of people. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You said you're gonna have what?
We're gonna have a lot of people come. Todd Hardy from Classic Bricks, he's gonna come down and probably have a diorama as well, and got a few folks that seem interested and wanted to come and spend about 5 hours with the Marine Corps and let the kids play.
Okay. Okay. Tell us how do you describe your Lego work? How do you describe the MOX that you built?
It really depends on what it is, because I build in all kinds of genre. I build micro. So I've been a Star Trek geek since probably 5, because I was watching them on air.
Right.
When I could stay up, when I could convince my mom to let me stay up. So every time I want to build something in Lego, I'd have to make, an enterprise. So this is about the most detailed one I've been able to do, with some modified bricks that I've created.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I do single pilot vehicles as well. They got to fit in there. They got to be able to do all their things.
Okay. I see that. Yeah.
One of the things that I kind of insist on is got to make sense here. Let me see if I can get this open without too much problem. Come on. I want to. Crystal engines. You could say dilithium crystal-y kind of things, but whatever.
Okay. Right.
See if you can see that. But I try to make sure that everything works for a minifig. If it's a minifig scale, it's gotta work for the minifig. It's gotta do everything it's gotta do. You know,
Right.
if it's gonna fly, it's gotta look like it's gotta fly. It's gotta have all the stuff. I did Lego speeder bike contest last year, and I want
Yeah.
to make sure that the controller vanes actually emulated something that would provide either lift or direction or all that stuff.
Okay. Okay.
So I tried to go. I wouldn't say it's hyper realistic, but real
Mm.
close to it. It's got to make sense.
Okay. Okay. You belong to a Lego club. Tell us about the Lego club that you belong to.
So as I was saying, I belong to technically I belong to two. I belong to WAMALTC,
Mm-hmm.
which is just a Lego users group, and we do different events and displays, but mostly just meet. And 90% of the people who are part of the WAMALTC group, they're also part of the WAMALTC, the Lego Train Club. So for the WAMALTC group, we
Mm-hmm.
meet once a month, bring something to build, bring something to show off,
Mm-hmm.
talk to each other, share techniques if we got a technique we want to share with somebody. Um, Answer questions from other builders like, "Hey, I'm trying to do this," or "Do you have this part?" or "Where do you think I can get that part?"
Mm-hmm.
We'll do shows like the Marine Corps Museum. We'll do the National Air and Space Museum
Mm-hmm.
for one of their family days downtown. We'll also go out to the Udvar Hazy,
Right.
which is their extension. Typically, we usually do that for the Spook Air and Scare, I think. Yeah, Air and
Oh.
Scare. So Halloween, spacey aerospace thing. So lots of
Okay.
fun. Plus a few events here and there. And then the WAMALTC usually does, time and train displays. We actually have one next week, which is the Boy Scouts of America. They do Operation Lifesaver.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 3-day event for us, but 2 days open to the public. They have Boy Scout troops come in and learn the train hobby, and B, Operation Lifesaver, as I said, and do different things that come and help us carry stuff out in and out, which is fun. We'll do Manassas Train Day,
Okay.
which celebrate Manassas on the first Saturday of June, and we'll have a large display just like BSA
Mm-hmm.
out there under the pavilion, the ice rink pavilion in downtown Manassas, along with other train clubs.
Okay.
Uh, we do almost always, we do Brickfest, have a Brickfest display, and then we do the B&O show. B&O will do the Festival of Trains, and we'll come out there. We get chosen to do the first weekend, which is like Thanksgiving, and then we have a display at Ellicott City where we have a static display for a couple months.
Okay. Okay.
And on LTC.
Okay. So we know that your love for Lego has grown. Do you have any other hobbies outside of Lego that may spill over into the MOCs that you create?
I do try to do a little bit of writing. I do some drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Typically, stuff that I draw is kind of mock based, and I try to get that into it. I also do a little drawing, landscape kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I used to bike a little bit, but my knees are giving out, so
Okay.
I can do. Do a little bit of handyman carpentry type stuff. Like I'll build
Okay.
something, woodwork.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have club tables, so I've hosted at least one club building event and have all the tools ready to do that. Um, because I'm that kind of guy too. I'll do that. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's not like a snowboard or dirt bikes or things like that. Lego's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much a, a fairly encompassing hobby.
Okay. So in that hobby, is it more like therapeutic or just an art expression for you?
It's a little bit of both. There's definite therapy in working out how things are working out,
Mm-hmm.
or uh, for the case of trying to do something specific, if you look at the Chili's mock, so that's an aftermarket piece that I modified to actually work out better. So the Brick City Depot is where you can get that set. Their instructions, and that's on a 32 by 32. And they got the entrance and the bars right behind it, and then some seats. And right behind the bars, the kitchen. But that arrangement just sucks.
Okay.
So you expand it out a little bit. You put the kitchen down the one end. You put the bar down the other. You put some bathrooms in the right spot. It's like working through how you would walk into a restaurant as a minifig and be able to, go get a drink, go to the bathroom, sit down in a booth, get your food from the kitchen, and then working out all the things that need to be in the kitchen like they're supposed to be. You see what they provide as far as an instruction. You say, well, that's missing, or this is missing, and I need that. So you try to fit it in. You only got so much space to work with. Where's the trade-off? So there's a mental calculation going on all the time. Do I move it one step left, right, back, forward?
Right.
How do I get all that stuff in?
Okay. So what was your out of all your projects that you've accomplished, which one was your most difficult?
I have several difficult ones. It really depends on what I'm trying to work for. Sometimes you work at I typically work at stuff until I get it. Each piece is unique. It's a different challenge every time. So like when I converted the bank set with the laundromat, I split the laundromat off to another building, and then the whole bank is one building. So I'm beefing up the vault area, and I got extra space on the outside wall. What do I put there? I need an ATM. How do I get an ATM there? How do I get people in there to make sure I can get people, the minifigs in behind to service the ATM from the inside the bank, inside the vault area, teller area.
Okay.
And then supporting the roof, because the roof was set up so that you had a distinct skylight presentation on the one side. So you're this way. But the way I did it was to make sure I had skylights on both sides. So how do you support the middle? So I had to figure out how to support the middle. And I came to the conclusion that I didn't need to lock it in on both sides. I just needed to make sure it was locked on one side and supported on the other. And how does that work? Without putting too much tension on the brick.
Right. I follow you.
So most of my stuff is, if you're building in the Creator Building series, the idea is you lift off each floor and you can play in each floor. So when I build stuff, I try to make sure that you can do that. You can get the building, take the roof off. You can play on the top floor, pull off all the floors, and play on the inside the middle of the bottom floor. Get that minifig going around, move them around, whatever you want. So everything's supported like it should be. And if you try to put your minifig in, it doesn't crash through the floor and bust up your mock.
Gotcha.
So that's part of the challenge too.
Okay. So how important is the Lego AFOL community to you and your builds?
Well, I do most of my builds so that I try to have something fresh for most of the shows. It doesn't always work out that way, but I've often had like a new fresh build to present at a different show. That way, if at least I've got something new for somebody to look at, for the public to look at.
Right.
That's a whole different new display, because when we do it, we don't have modules. We'll set it up so that we know kind of where the track runs, where the streets are kind of going to go, and then everybody just puts stuff in wherever it fits. So you can have one time you could have the same 5 buildings, but you could rearrange them any way, which way you want. Plus, if people were building in the creator building style, as well as you can mix through them, just mix, put Joe's building next to mine and some of mine over in a different corner. And so you get a whole different town display every time.
Okay. Okay. So, folks, you are. What were you saying, Richard?
Oh, I'm just saying that it keeps the displays fresh, and everybody gets enjoyment out of it that way.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I much agree. Like I said, it sounds like you're a man of a lot of details, and we're definitely going to take a look at that. I'm so anxious to take a look at this PowerPoint that we put together, so we can kind of share these details. And that's very important. A lot of people. Some of the builders that I've known and seen, they put all the details on the outside and not on the inside, because in theory, no one sees the inside of the building, but you know what's inside there. So yeah, not too bad, right? So, folks, this is the second half of On the Icebox. I thank you for watching. We're going to go into the PowerPoint slide presentation. Now, Richard, they don't see you. They don't get to see me. They just see the PowerPoint, and we'll describe each piece in details. All right, let's see here. I'm on present, and we are going to hit that button there. All right, folks, welcome to On the Icebox with Iceberg Bricks. Our guest tonight is LegoMan34, Richard from the WAMA group, located in the DMV area out of DC, the metro area. So here we go. So what I try to do is I try to go further back into your the most latest picture, or the earliest picture, I should say, and try to work up. But here, tell us what we have here. I think this is one of your group displays.
Yeah, this is Ellicott City. This is just finished up at the middle of February. What you see there behind the red roof building is the toy shop, the first set that they released for the Winter Village, but it's been totally mocked. It's got a full building there, and two roofs, and all kinds of stuff inside. There's all kinds of toys going on in there, on full shelves and displays and stuff like that. And next to it is not mocked, but still mine post office from the same Winter Village set for series. But that's Ellicott City in the winter Christmas town portion of the display.
Gotcha. Okay. Here's another view of that. We got the snowman. It's really nice winter town. And I got to see this myself. It was like a 2-tier, right? It was like 2-tier.
Yeah. There's 2 tiers this year, which was different from us. We usually did it like usually do a wedding cake type of thing. Where we'll have an outer tier and then a second tier where you can't see underneath it. There's might be a train that goes through into a tunnel and come back out again, but technically you can't really see underneath it. And then another tier on top of that. And I think once we did 4 tiers like that, Christmas cake or wedding cake type stuff. With usually the Winter Village on the top, but this year we did the Winter Village off to the side on the bottom, which was all right. And then we had a full town underneath the one layer, and then on top of that, if you had another picture, it was essentially a fanciful interpretation of Ellicott City itself.
Okay.
There are a lot of the buildings that were there: the train station, the overpass, the hill, and a lot of the buildings. So again, this is a lot of that stuff is mine that you can see in that picture.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of in this one, it's not so much mine. The snowman was contributed by Bob Hayes. There's a lot of stuff there from different people. I think Ed Cole, Randy Hamilton, and Cliff Chambers. A lot of different people were put stuff in the Christmas Village area. We had
Okay.
another piece, several pieces that are in where the green spot is. You missed out. We all missed out because Chuck Vigiani had to leave the country early for a trip, and he had to come and get his stuff a day early.
Okay.
That's why that empty spot's there.
Gotcha.
And then that kind of transitioned from the Winter Village to this nice seaside corner here with beach and stuff like that. There's a couple of my pieces in there, but somebody else did the beach and the ocean and brought the ships in. There's a full cooperation between about 15 of us in Ellicott City.
Okay.
And there you can start seeing underneath the bottom tier of the town layout that we had. Christmas villages on the right, seaside, beach scene is right in front of you, and then in the background is the part of the underlayer town area.
Okay.
So I have to, shout out kudos to a lot of my other contributors because they bring in some really awesome things. This here is the factory that Ed Cole has, and it's fully working. You can see the conveyor going around. It's modeled after the factory mill that's behind the train station on the other side of the river.
Right. Pretty, yeah, like that, like it.
And as I was saying, this is a fanciful emulation of the town of Ellicott City itself. That's the top of the hill. Now, a lot of the buildings are not Ellicott City buildings, but they could be.
Right. It's a good interpretation, interpretation of the town. Really, it's like dead spot on of Ellicott City.
Yeah, it's I like to think of it as kind of jazz. Not hitting all the notes, but you're hitting all enough of them that you know what the melody is.
Right.
And that's looking down into the main street. So you can see the train station where the actual display is at on the left in the red roof there. That's the actual museum. Right in front of it is the overpass for the trains. On the other side of the street from the train station is the Phoenix Bar and Grill.
Right.
And right behind that is the antique mall where Todd Hardy has his classic bricks. In fact, he's got a little classic bricks vehicle parked in front of his building.
Gotcha. Yep.
Which I thought was very classy, as it were. I thought it was very well done.
Right.
Now, I like to feed off ideas of other people too. So I see something cool, I'll try to check it out. That is the two Santa workshops smooshed together. So I can get all 9 reindeer with Rudolph.
Oh, pretty slick. Yeah. 9 there, 9. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you just merge them together.
Yeah, just merge them together. Because it's an open set in the back. So it is still open on the wings, but the main building has I did modularized it. And I got plenty of Santa helpers. And I don't know who the real Santa is. Maybe the one in the sleigh. Maybe it's the one that's drinking eggnog and answering letters with Mrs. Claus. Maybe, as you can see, It's one of the Santas in one of the Choi Shop wings. Who knows? That is the Toy Train Museum.
Okay.
That is not far from Lancaster, at a place called Strasburg, Pennsylvania. We were asked to come up and fill a display. We've got 2 automated lines. You press a button and the train goes just like Ellicott City.
Mm-hmm.
You got a city side and a countryside. And that's setting up the display. As you can tell, nothing would run on that right then.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, man. I like it. I like it. Old style buildings. So tell us about the Dunkin' Donuts here and the Baskin Robbins.
I absorbed somebody's collection.
Mm-hmm.
And he had this aftermarket Dunkin' Donuts. It was a 16 by 32 building. And he also had an ice cream shop.
Mm-hmm.
And I recognize the Dunkin' Donuts from somebody else's aftermarket instructions. The instructions aren't really available anymore, but I've seen a version or 2 of it before. So I saw this ice cream shop in Dunkin' Donuts. I said, let me think about this. I think they go together. I think the Baskin Robbins portion is that ice cream shop.
Okay.
Because they had inside, the guy did it. He bought the full thing with the stickers and all that stuff. He had stuff in there, and it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm going to push these together and see what I can do with it and make it look right.
Okay.
And
not bad, man. Looks like every Dunkin' Donuts, Baskin Robbins in the state of Maryland, man, they merged all of them together. I know at least out here in this state they have.
They got them here in Virginia too. The thing is that for the past couple of Brick Fests, I've been picking up a couple different things. Like for the Chili's, I think 2 years ago, I picked up Eclipse Bricks had some printed bottles of different various alcohol stuff. That stuff, I was like, I'm going to build a bar someday, and these liquor bottles are going to go in that mock. And then I saw the donuts. I think it was a year before last. I said, I got to get some of the donuts here, and for a bakery, I'm going to do a bakery, a real bakery, not so much a donut shop, but a bakery. So I got some of those. So then when I started putting it together and started looking at what the display was for the donuts that the aftermarket people decided to do, and what I had available and what I could do, what I knew I could do, I had to get some more donuts just to make things all, have a good display of good variety of different donuts. You don't want to go into Dunkin' Donuts and get 3 different donuts. You want to get, get a dozen, you want to get one of each.
Right.
So you see, you serve a man there with getting coffee for a customer, and you can see all the donuts there on the display on the racks. And one of the things I wanted to do with the Dunkin' Donuts when I was doing it, I'm sure you'll get to it, is I wanted to make sure that if you were there and you were making the donuts, that you had a thing to make the donuts.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's ice cream, serving ice cream cones.
He's got the menu in the back. The menu, awesome.
The menu, yeah, that was. I was lucked out. Like I said, the guy got all the stickers and stuff like that. I reused as much as I could. Although there are some special bits in there that I put in there.
Awesome deal. Here we go.
View from the back, looking at the front door.
Mm-hmm. Awesome deal. All right, so now we're getting into your steampunk builds here. Tell us about what inspired this.
So I've been wanting to get into steampunk for a long while. When I went to Brick World in 2007, because there was no Brick Fest, and Brick Fair did not exist.
Mm-hmm.
I did a speed build when Steve Witt was the community manager. I don't know if
Okay.
any of the people viewing here know the history of the community managers, Lego community managers. He ran this speed build, after hour speed build.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a 2-part. It was a speed build, and then when we were done, he said, "Okay, part 2 is this," because
Mm-hmm.
nobody had any idea. He said, "I want you to build a steampunk thing that flies from the parts that you have from this set," and it was a castle set.
Okay.
It was a small castle set, $10 castle set. So he
Mm-hmm.
had to put together something that looked like it could fly that was steampunk. And I actually won that competition.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been trying to get my mind back into doing some steampunk stuff. I just haven't, been able to. It's been obviously several years. So this is from last Brick Fair that I did these guys.
Okay.
And these are some preliminary pictures. I actually had to go to Brick Link and get some more parts for the wheels as the hover covers. And I wanted to make these hover bikes, and I was thinking to myself, if they were real, floater hover bikes, steampunk. And I want to say that my inspiration for this is based on YouTube star Colin Froose, who built a hover bike from 2 I think lawnmower engines. And he, you get it off the ground and he can get that thing going. Look it up, Colin Froose hover bike. You'll laugh your ass off because he wipes out and almost kills himself at least once. It's awesome. You just expect that there's going to be blood and carnage out of the whole video, but he's obviously still alive with all his fingers and toes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I wanted to emulate how these would actually perform. So I started thinking to myself, well, I could write rules for this. And I guess I missed out on one of my hobbies. I guess I'm a gamer. I AD&D for a long time. I used to do minifigs, and I would outfit them. I used to run games, and I would outfit minifigs as the characters, and whatever your character could hold on your minifig, that's what you got. You had a bag of holding, it better be a bag of holding, because otherwise you don't have 5 swords.
Right. I follow you. Yeah.
It's what your character can actually physically carry. Got a shield? That's it. Got a sword? That's it. You might be able to strap one on the back with a rubber band. That's about it. So I wanted to write rules that would emulate the chaotic nature of how these things would function if they actually functioned.
Okay.
Based on what I was watching with Colin Froose. So I built a game and wrote up the rules. So I had 10 potential participants in a field where they would go from, start line to an end line. You roll dice, see if you move or not move. You could have a malfunction. You could get blown backwards in the advanced rules. You could bump into people. You could get run off the course and you're disqualified. You could get bumped so many times that your machine breaks and then you're debris in the middle of the field. And I wanted to make sure that I had some specials that might be able to go a little bit faster, but had a little more instability. And this is one of them. This and the other one with the hoops, the bionicle flying hoops.
Okay.
These are faster models, but they have more instability. So when you roll the dice, you just round up for some of it. But of course, rounding up or rolling really high and rolling really low causes you to roll again for an instability. So I worked out all these rules to actually play this game with the speeder bikes.
That's pretty cool.
The hover things.
So instead of using the die cast men, yeah, the die cast men, you use the hover bikes as the game pieces. That's pretty cool, man. That's real innovative. Yeah. All right. So tell us about the steampunk hat.
So we went to Awesome Con last year, and my wife said, "Yeah, I'm kind of like interested in the steampunk thing." So she bought herself a felt bowler, and I was like, "Well, what about me?" She's like, "Well, go try and see what it's going to cost us to get you a cool steampunk hat." And when we started looking into the prices, it was like, it's more than we want to spend.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Why don't you just buy a plain old hat, top hat, and you can do something with it?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, I could do that." So
Right.
my wife was inspired me to do this. So it's I set it up. I wanted to have chromed gears, so I went to Chrome Block City and got chrome gears. It's a
Uh-huh.
Lego watch there. That copper piece is actually a Lego watch.
Okay.
There's magnetics for the name tag.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the earlier prototype version that you're looking at there on that one. So just trying to make sure everything worked and things fit well. The lights are from E-Lights.
Mm-hmm. E-lights. Yeah.
E-Lights. So that's an E-Lights brick in there, controller brick.
Okay.
For the front tubes that you covered up, but they flicker like they're lighting up a electricity tubey thing going on there.
Okay.
Yeah, that one. So those all flicker. Those three flicker as if something's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like the gears are causing some sort of generator to happen. And as you go around, if you get all the way around, there's a little steam generator that I've emulated from one of the um, uh, the rubber tipped dart things, Technic dart things.
Yeah.
So that's like to me it's the right size and shape to be uh, a little steam uh, turbine boiler, and there's a little firebox and a little flame that comes, a little smoke comes out of the smokestack.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like it's like running the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I had to have a Tesla weapon, Tesla ray gun.
Okay.
This is one of the earlier versions of it because I had to get my chrome gears from Chrome Block City. But there's two rows of tube lights, one on each
Mm-hmm.
side. I did all the colors: red, blue, green, yellow, orange.
Right.
Uh, and those all flicker tube like just like the hat does. And then
Gotcha.
when you pull the trigger, I had to um, fabricate a touch switch.
Mm-hmm.
So when you pull the trigger, it completed a circuit so that it went to a second uh, controller brick, E-Lights controller brick, so
Yeah.
that the front of the gun lights up. And at the same time, it presses a sound brick that you get from. I used the one that you got from the Alien Invasion.
Yeah.
And it goes whoop 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 whoop.
Oh, that's real innovative, man. That's again, you're hitting the mark with the details, man. Details are everything. I mean, if you got a steampunk gun, you got to have a steampunk gun. So with that, you made some more accessories through the steampunk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got some wristbands, bracelets, just to be chill. Did some cufflinks because we put together a full ensemble,
Mm-hmm.
this steampunk ensemble to go with it.
Okay.
My
Awesome
wife
deal.
actually, I finished making for her a little blinky lighty thing too for her hat.
Right.
And that's what I just showed you earlier. It's one of the versions of these things I showed you earlier. I think it's this one. So the idea is that it could be configured a couple different ways. You could have different wings. You could have cockpit, could be a little bit different. Cockpit shell. You could have different accessories on your control surfaces in the back, but it essentially has that crystal engine in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Cracked it open, and all the controls there for your fig in there. Personal flying spacecraft. The idea was I wanted to do back in 2000 when Spiffcraft were out. I wanted to make my own kind of personal craft, and I wanted to make it FIPS, just to be contrary and be backwards.
Okay.
This is one of my mock trains.
Okay.
This is called the Citrus Express. This is the orange car. There's a lemon car. There's a lime car. There's a grapefruit car.
Okay. What inspired you to make this train?
I really wanted to use the panels, the hinge panels, and I wanted it, to do something where it was like another mock train I did. I beefed up the blue train. Was it 4061? I forget what it is. The blue express train, and it was woefully inadequate, so I had to bump it up a lot. I wanted to make it a lot more like the Metroliner. Yeah. So the engine's based on the Metroliner, and a couple of the cars are like the observation car, sleeper car.
The observation. Yeah.
So you got some of that going on, and then these are kind of like a mixture of that express train, that blue express train, because they opened up like that, right? But they weren't very tall.
Yeah.
So I beefed them up so everything's like the right height, but had some more functionality to it.
Okay. There's your Metroliner right there.
That's the one I'm talking about. That's the blue train that's been bulked up. As you can see, when they produced their version, Lego produced their version, it had the clear canopy, the trans canopy, and one layer of that multi-surfaced spoke brick. And I bumped it up 2 more so that you could actually get some volume in it and have some weight to it. Have it, comparable as a real express train.
Right.
And I tried to keep some of the same elements from the actual original set with the styling, and have the car carrier and all that other stuff.
Okay. It's real stylish train here. You kept the cars sort of the same tone, but you see the different details inside, of course.
Oh, one of the toughest things for this thing was that in the original set, for the seating, it was like theater seating, matinee seating, and they had a screen that like swung out for the people to watch a movie while they're on the train. But then I think it was actually fixed in place, so you couldn't move it. But what I wanted to do is make sure you could move it out of the way, so you could get between the cars. So I tried to make sure that you could move the screen out of the way, so you can get it. You can get your figs through the train if you needed to.
Okay. So on the left down here in the bottom corner, you got the time machine. Looks like a steampunk time machine. Tell us about what inspired this time machine.
So the time machine was the first steampunk thing I did last year. and I've been thinking to myself about it for a while on how to get a time machine that looked like the 1963, I think it is, Rod Taylor time machine movie.
Mm-hmm.
So did some research about the actual prop they used for the movie. I did some searches online for other people, what they did, and I didn't like any of their designs.
Okay.
I mean, I liked some of the things that they did, but I didn't like all of it. So I, did my own.
Too bad, not too bad.
Yep. On the left is what I did for the Lego speeder bike contest last year.
Okay. Okay.
That's the underside of one of the speeder bikes. It's like a racer.
Eraser. Okay. Okay. Let's see. We got another picture of that. We got the police racer here.
Yeah.
So how many of these racers did you make?
I did 3 for the contest. What they wanted. They wanted a city escape one. They wanted a like racing one, and they wanted one in what they said the vast lands.
Okay.
So this was they had a little set out, little $4 set. That was a policeman in a little motorboat and a robber that was sitting in the tire. I don't know if anybody remembers that. It was a year or so ago. Just a little, uh, impulse purchase, $3, $4 set. And what I did is when I saw that, I was like, oh, I know what I could do with that. I can make one of these racers with it, one of these Lego speeder bikes. And I don't know if you got another picture of the cop one.
Sure, I do. Oh no, we back into the other.
So what you can't see in this picture, but if you go and look at the album, is that in the back of the tire, what I did is I decided that I could put the 1x1 round transparent tiles in the light blue in the little slots of the tire to have it look like a thruster.
Okay. Okay.
So it's got, since it has, since it's all the way a band around it, it's like if you were controlling it, you could up the output to any one of those individual locations and help control the bike.
Okay. Okay. So now we're into your we're cutting into your modulars now. And here you have one of your custom modulars up against a Parisian restaurant. Tell us about this modular here.
Okay, so the modular is based on Brick City Depot's aftermarket instructions. Really liked the way that had looked in general. But I wanted to do it a more classic old town building in the red brick. I also wanted to, when I started getting into building it, I could see that there wasn't really enough room to have everything that belonged in a residence above the hardware store. So I added another floor to do stuff. So there's aside from the color change, there's a roll top door, what we would consider a regular garage roller door, instead of the door that they said they wanted. They wanted like 2 hinge doors. I didn't like that, so I changed it updated it to a roll top, and I changed a few other things. How large the deck was for the residents. I changed some of the fixtures, ornamentation along the building as well.
Okay.
Now the Parisian Cafe, that's a Mach 2. That is 2 Parisian cafes smushed together. And the way I did that was I let my wife build one and I built one, except that I built mine backwards.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mirrored. So this is a mirrored Parisian cafe.
Uh-huh.
And then when it came time to smush them together, what I did is I took the two bottom floors and made sure that I used up all the parts for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I figured out what I needed to use. And this was part of the challenge that was really excited me. This is the second floor. I used just the 2 second floors.
Okay.
Do it, and I kind of ran out of brick for that, so I just filled in where I could and decided what I was going to do about it later.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did the third floor. And by the time that since some things were really preset by the dimensions of what was available for the first floor and the second floor, I made the third floor what it was. So I ended up with some of the olive green brick left. So that actually filtered back into the second floor and the first floor.
Gotcha. Awesome deal. Awesome. So then you matched it up against another modular here. Tell us about this modular.
So this is a widened Market Street market.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 20 studs wide. It's got all the classic features. It's got the open alleyway where you could sell stuff. It's got the private residence to the right. And then I used a spiral staircase from inside that alcove on the right to get up into the residence.
Okay. That's the side of it right there.
Yeah, it's the side. Yeah.
God, I love that orange mortar brick is awesome. I really like that piece. Yep. So then you took that one and you married it against. I mean, you put it against another modular. Tell us about this modular.
Yeah, it's the same 20 wide kind of base with that dark blue with some accents, and it's got a bow on the second and third floor.
Okay.
And I extended the bow up into the roof as well, just to keep that flow, the shape of the flow up. I think it looks really nice and makes it sharp.
Right. Here's another look at that build. Looks good. Yeah, looks good. And it just it's a simple, like you said, it's a 20 wide, simple modular, but you crack in all the details and stuff, and you make it look realistic by using the different bricks you got here. Like it would be a blue building, but then you got the gray bricks with the textures on it, texture bricks on here. Which gives it that rustic look as well.
It gives it pop.
Right. All right, tell us about the Chili's, man.
So Chili's, another Brick City Depot people set, aftermarket set. It's the original instructions were on a 32 by 32 base plate. Had the entrance right in the middle. Right behind the entrance is a bar. You got 1.5 places for people to sit and booths. You got sort of a alleyway kind of hallway to get to the kitchen and the bathrooms. And I was like, you know what? This is just not right. Nobody wants to go behind the bar to go to the bathroom to look at the food being made. That's just not right. So had to bump it out. I also wanted to give it that nice Southwestern kind of look. That's that mission styling.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure that was all worked into that too. It's part of the styling of the building. I moved that entrance off to the side there on the corner. To the left is the bar and entrance to the bathrooms. And then the back wall of the bathrooms is one of the side walls for the kitchen. So if you go in and go to the right, there's lots of booths, and then entrance to the kitchen for the servers to come in and out of. I don't know if you got another picture of that on the inside.
You got it
Yeah,
from
so all the
this
builds
side
are on
here,
this side here,
right?
and it's all detailed in there.
Okay.
There we go. So
And you got
there's the bar, and you can see just on the edge of the new picture the bottles behind the bar, and they're Eclipse Graphics printed bricks. And I knew I wanted to do a bar, and the Chili's was my gateway to getting a bar thing going there, so I could use
right.
those pieces. So when you popped it open, you could see all your different kinds of liquors available to you if you were sitting there at the bar.
Definitely good detail, my man. Definitely good detail. This one hits the mark. You got the wooden floors, and like you said, you got the glasses and the bottles and stuff. Is that? I'm trying to look. Oh yeah, I see it. Yep, I see it. And then you got the tables and stuff on the side there as well. Yep, awesome deal. All right. Tell us about this build here.
So what? 2 years ago, they did these 3-in-1 creator sets.
Mm-hmm.
This is that little burger joint or the little sandwich shop. I mean, the thing's only 8x8 by itself.
Okay.
So I smushed
Mm.
two of them together, tried to keep all the styling, kept the little sandwich piece.
Okay.
I wanted it to be. I actually wanted on this one. I wanted to do two things. I wanted to make it a substantial set,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to have it be either you could put it next to two buildings and it fit right in as along the street because it has that little courtyard there. But you could actually put it on a corner too.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I can see the corner build. Yep.
So the first floor has the sandwich shop, and if you go to the Flickr page for this album, you can see that the bottom floor is bisected at an angle, and on the left
Mm-hmm.
side is a coffee shop, little coffee shop, and they have an agreement with the sandwich shop where they can use the bathroom in the sandwich shop. And then on the second floor is a full kind of like studio apartment for somebody with the Murphy bed that you get in. It's styled after the Murphy bed you get in the Parisian Cafe.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Definitely good build here. Good build. So now on the side of that is this the town hall, or I
It
forget what the
started
name of
life
this
as a
one.
town hall.
Uh-huh.
It
What was the name
became
of
a
this one?
library. It became
Library.
a
That's what it was.
it became a what would be considered like a Carnegie Endowment library that they put up in the 20s because
Okay.
Mr. Carnegie tried to like whitewash his good name after the Homestead massacre of all the union workers that he had killed.
Okay.
So
Okay.
gave a lot of money away to towns to, help them forget about all that stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. So this one looked like pretty. It looks like a pretty tall build, like pretty massive one. I'm looking at,
Yeah,
the one.
it's just deeper than the original town hall. And I wanted to change the colors, but I wanted to keep most of the same elements. One of the things that I wanted to do specifically is there was this beer commercial a few years ago. It was
Mm-hmm.
all animated, and it had this building where they showed this profile of this building that you see here with I thought it was a clock, could have been a clock. But I wanted to use that as a feature for this building because I thought it made it stand out a little bit better. And that's a Lego watch in there,
Okay.
keeping the time in the clock tower in the facade there.
Nice. Nice. So on the left, describe this building here for us. Did you?
Well, that's
This was.
that hardware store that we had looked at
Oh,
earlier.
oh, you just put a little bit more detail in on this one with
Well,
the
yeah,
car.
I set the scene
Right.
I put the car the pickup truck that you make with it with some
Right.
modifications in there with the roll top door.
Okay.
It really sets the
Gotcha.
scene when you got everything going on there.
Going on. Yeah, it looks like a whole total different build when you got everything going on. Yeah. All right. All right. And that's another look at it with the scene going on, and he notice he's got the curtains inside of the windows. He's got the curtains inside of the windows. That's
And
excellent. That's
it's
an
fully
excellent touch.
furnished too. The first floor, the first floor of the residence has, you walk into the living room and there's a kitchen on the backside, and then there's stairs aligned with the door, the front door of the place. Take you upstairs. There's a bedroom, a bathroom, and a little office. The little office is to the right window.
Okay. Okay.
Brick City Depot and Brick Builders Pro is kind of my friend.
Okay.
On the left is another Brick City Depot-ish building that I liked in general, but it being 16 wide is just as insufficient as a pet shop house, brownstone.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So that thing
okay.
is pushed out way in the back. It's got a full living room, full kitchen. It's got stairs upstairs. It's got a bedroom on and a bathroom on the first floor. Oh, under the stairs, there's a bathroom too in the house. It's got a full bedroom, bathroom, and another kid's room in the back. And then there's a place for you to pull down the attic ladder, like you get in the haunted house.
Yeah, the haunted. Yeah. Yep.
So it's got like a haunted house ladder thing you can pull down, and upstairs is like a little writing desk and an extra bed if somebody needed to crash there, and some storage boxes.
Okay. Awesome deal. Awesome deal. Awesome deal.
And that's just a few of my stuff. Yeah. This spot paid for you by Classic.
You know who. You know who.
That's right.
Yeah, man. Awesome deal, man. So I didn't see any tables set up anywhere like inside. I see you got let me see what you got back there. You got a couple
you want a tour? Is that what you want?
Yeah, show us the tour.
Right. So I'm gonna turn around here. These are my small parts.
Okay.
See if I can get a look in here.
All right, all right, all right. You got quite a few there.
It's like 1 by whatever's clips or no clips. Round.
Bricklink Seller's Dream.
Could be, yeah. Bricklink Seller's Dream. Tiles.
Okay.
This is my tile row. Just, yeah, Bricklink Seller's Dream. I moved from classic system bricks towards Technic.
Towards Technic. Okay.
Technic stuff.
Right. Awesome deal. Awesome deal. Wow, that's a lot of sorting. A lot of sorting.
And as well, down here is all Technic type stuff.
Okay.
And then there's more stuff. I have to give kudos to my wife, because when we did this room, we redid the room, we decided we're going to redo it. We're going to do, get these storage things, because I had bins, like shoebox bins on the wall, and things were moving, and it was just a pain in the ass to get into.
Right.
So we came up with doing this system and getting more of these sorting tool piece boxes. And my wife decided she wanted to make the colors, the Lego colors. So I got a yellow Lego yellow wall, Lego blue wall, Lego red wall, and a Lego green wall. The only thing you can see of the green wall is just a little patch, because it's wall to wall, floor to ceiling.
Okay.
Stuff.
Okay.
And then she said, I want crown molding in the room. And I was like, I'm not going to do crown molding, honey. I can't do that. I'm just not going to do it.
That kills the space.
I said, I could do, and this was a joke now. I said, I could do Lego crown molding, and her eyes got big, and her mouth dropped open, and I knew I was sunk. So I had to figure out how to do Lego crown molding. And I can pull it all off and take it with me. It's not screwed or glued or anything.
Okay. Now you're a big fan. You're a big fan of the brick shows. Now I want to see that brick badge wall that you just showed me.
Yeah. So I've been part of the community for a long time, as I was saying, back when we had dial-up, meeting people after stores open.
Okay.
So the first brick convention conceived and executed was Brickfest, Washington, D.C. I was part of putting that together. This is a copy of the brick badge.
Okay.
Well, the actual brick badge around here somewhere. Here's the brick badge. It's my actual brick badge. Hanging up somewhere. Got it? Nope. Sorry. So these are copies of the brick badge.
Okay.
They've been shrunk to fit in these little windows. So that's every brick fest there's ever been. And then, of course, there was no brick fair or brick fest in 2007. So Linda and I went to Brick World, where we met Todd Webb, and we immediately after that started putting together the idea for Brick Fair. So Brick Fair 2008 through to today.
Awesome.
And my wife is out. She's been doing stuff for a while too. So
that's quite the wall there, brick badge wall.
Yeah, that goes on as like a billboard on top of my skyscraper.
Okay.
Linda and I have been featured in the Washingtonian.
So, where can people find you?
I'm sorry, say that question again.
I said, where can viewers, where can people find you if they want to look at some of your mocks? Where on the social media can they find you?
Right now, I just have a Flickr page. So, if you, I'm pretty sure that there's at least a QR code somewhere in some of my pictures that you have that you can flash up there. It'll take you at least to the mocks in the album. But it's I've tried to do searches myself. It doesn't seem to work right. But if you do LegoMan34, I think sort of works if you look up stuff.
Okay. LegoMan34 on Flickr.
LegoMan34. Search it for people.
So, folks, definitely go see it. He's got a lot more to show that I didn't put in the PowerPoint. Definitely worth looking at. My man's putting this thing down. One more question before I let you go. Out of the many memories that you have, and that brick badge wall that you have, you really served a lot of time in the Lego community. Which was like, give me one of your most memorable interactions with someone.
Well, a lot of it is some of the big names that you see on Flickr or in the community. People like Adrian Drake, Chris Giddens. But the one year that we had people from Lego come to Brickfest, we actually had Kelge Christensen come, and I got to meet him. And I think there's a picture of him holding one of my sig figs and hamming it for the camera for me. So I made a custom Marvin the robot from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I used him as a prop to take pictures of everybody. here, hold Marvin, take a picture. So I got
Awesome.
Kelly to hold my Marvin, and I got a picture of him, and that's in one of my albums. I believe it's from 2004.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or 2005.
Good deal. Good deal. I want to thank you again for hanging out with me. Any last words of inspiration for the viewers?
All I can say is that if you can think it, you can build it, because there's enough parts coming out. I mean, have you seen the 1x2 half tiles that are in
Yes.
the? My mind went, oh, I can finally do some really cool tiled floors now, because I got half tiles now, 2x2 half tiles.
Yes.
I was like,
Yes.
hey, honey, did you see this? What would you do with them? Oh my goodness, what can't I do with them? Half tiles.
Right.
2x2 half tiles, triangles. I can do all kinds of stuff now.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You definitely can unlock some more codes, man. Because now you can shift them things in a whole new position.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my mind's already racing on that.
That's
Whatever
awesome.
you can think, whatever you think you can do, you can do it. And I'll tell you, I'm inspired by a lot of people, and I know that I've inspired a few people too, like people like Rod Hendricks from E-Lights. The first year that we did Brickfest, I had a presentation of modifying bricks. I was cutting them.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 years later, Rob came to me and said, I'm doing E-Lights and putting lights and lightsabers and minifigs because I saw you modifying bricks. You opened the door for me to think like that. So anybody who likes E-Lights and what Rob Hendricks does,
Mm-hmm.
he got his inspiration looking at me. So that made me feel all just warm and cuddly. Like, really? You got that from me? I took this one thing and you went that direction with it? That's cool as hell. It's cool as hell. Be inspired by other people. Take it another direction. Do something different. You can do anything.
Awesome. Words to live by. Definitely words to live by. Hey folks, I want to thank you for stopping by. This is another edition of On the Icebox with Iceberg Bricks. My guest tonight is LegoMan34. You can check him out on Flickr. Definitely check him out on Flickr. Check him out he's got a show at the Marine Corps coming up. You can definitely catch him at the Brick Fair, Brick Fest. He'll be there. He's a member of WAMALTC. So you can catch them as well. With that, folks, I thank you for watching. If you just tuning in, definitely go back, like and subscribe. I need those likes and I need those subscriptions. Let's make this big, and together we'll make it. I bid you love, peace, and Lego. Have a good night, folks.